Hello, C. Murray once again. You're watching The Last of Us Left Behind DLC Survivor Difficulty video walkthrough. I always seem to stumble up every time. It's such a mouthful, I guess. Survivor Difficulty. Every time I get to difficulty, like I said, we are progressing from my past pronunciation issues with the last chapter. Okay, so boom. We begin, we get a collectible right here to start off this chapter. Now this chapter is a little bit longer, I believe, than what I recorded, but I split it up into two parts because chapter 6 is simply, it's basically just story and cutscenes, and I'm not going to produce a video of cutscenes. There's nothing for me to tell you, and that I'm not huge in a whole spoiler thing, even though I kind of spoil it as you watch this, but... Oh, I completely forgot we get an arrow. Bow and arrow. I can't believe I forgot. I stated that you only have a gun and a knife prior, and then I corrected myself saying you eventually get a rifle, and I completely forgot all about the bow. Which is a great weapon, and it's such a pleasant surprise to see it return. One of the best bows in gaming. This one and Tomb Raiders, which is another game I highly recommend. I know it came out the same time as BioShock, so don't compare it to the other Tomb Raiders because it just doesn't compare. Now, if you remember from from the actual Last of Us campaign, you can actually recover your arrows. So here I'm just sneaking around, taking these guys out with the bow, recovering my arrows when applicable. That way I lose 0 ammo. And arrows are pretty good. You shoot someone once and they're usually down and out. If you get them from behind, or definitely a headshot takes them out. So I believe I only lost 1 arrow.
Stitch him up, and then I'm gonna get the hell out of here.
Oh, no, I lost none. I got them all back. Great. Now this is where they introduce an interesting part. An interesting take on your two enemies. Usually, from what I remember, I mean, they might have done this in campaign, and I just don't recall because it's been a few months. But they take the hunters and pin them up against you, and then they take clickers and pin them up against you, or infected, which are essentially, they have clickers and other infected, but they take these two groups and pin them both up against you at the same time, and they pin each other up against each other. So yeah, make a left down this vent, take this collectible, duct recorder. But yeah, so they pin them both up against each other, which allows you to sit back and wait and let them take each other out, and whichever side survives, then follow through by taking them out. A really interesting concept that I enjoyed a lot. Added more sense of realism because I really can't remember. Usually it was like infected, then hunters, then infected, then hunters from campaign. I mean, I could be completely wrong, and I'm sure someone will comment to remind me. And I will be replaying the original campaign here shortly on Survivor Plus, just to finish that, knock out a few trophies, so I could find out for myself. But as far as I remember, they introduced it here for the first time, or at least more in depth for the first time here. And it really works out well. It's interesting. But then you do get to the hunter part, or more hunter-focused part, which is where I have a little trouble. I believe I died. I died on one of these parts of the two, from what I remember. I recorded this the day it came out. I downloaded the DLC and played it, recorded it, and then I'm just now getting around to doing the audio recordings for it, just because I've just been so busy with college. It sucks. That's why I'm really looking forward to spring break, because I'm going to be able to catch up on all the video game recordings, catch up on the games that have been sitting on my backlog, my back catalog, and hopefully explore new games and new entertainment. I actually own a Wii U, and I would really like to venture with some video recordings of that. I have a few in my back burner. I completed the full story campaign, if you can call it a campaign, Super Mario 3D World, which is a fabulous game. I don't mean to console reference while playing or recording a PS3 title. But okay.
Fuck these guys.
So we are in a room full of infected. So those of you that have been playing the game up to this point that were kind of like upset with the lack of enemy encounters, like we make up for it on this chapter in full. There's more enemy encounters, and there's plenty of you. But as you can see here, the hunters, I threw the brick to attract the hunters, or the clickers to it. The infectors go after the brick, the hunters come out of hiding, fight the clickers. The clickers obviously win, they take the hunters out. So now all we have to do is finish them. So pick up another brick. And then we're going to take them out in the most stealthy way possible where we save ammunition because it matters. And as I was playing this game, even with all the ammunition I save throughout playing this DLC, I mean, I still am very limited for the end battle. Or end encounter, I should say. So I don't recall there being any collectibles in this room at this point. I think we're clear to take these guys out. I'm just being overly cautious as I do so. And I'm glad I was and searched behind here because I just achieved an arrow. Obtained an arrow. I noticed the last chapter of recording, I kept referring it, cross-referencing between achievements and trophies. And I know the difference. I know achievements are on Microsoft Xbox, and I know trophies are for Sony PlayStation. But to me, even a trophy's an achievement. And I just like the terminology of achievement much, much better. See, I didn't even see this guy, but I heard him, so that's why I paused. Boom, we brick him, take him out. I don't know why I hesitate, but we're still okay. He's dropped, and now we gotta run into hiding because the other clicker is aware of the noise. And as you can see, I'm out of bricks. For some reason, I choose to use the gun instead of the arrow. Which, as I'm playing this, I feel like, well, I would go for the arrow, not the gun. But I guess it doesn't really matter. Because I believe this is the only clicker in this portion, so... See, a terrible shot. Took 3 tries to get the headshot. Finally got it. I would do it again differently. Or if I did it again, I would do it differently. Yeah, there is another clicker. Or I didn't kill that one. Okay, now it's down.
Any more of these fuckers?
Unless that was another one I attracted. But I believe, yeah, I guess I didn't take it down, so... Now, if I were to do it again, I would do it differently. I would just take him out with the bow, or pick up the bottle and end it swiftly without wasting ammo. I kind of contradicted myself on that last one. But, alas, he's down, and it doesn't matter, we're progressing.
So close. I need a way around.
But, I mean, I wasted so much ammunition. 4 shots. It's an embarrassment. For some reason, I just like bricks better. Better than bottles. I like bottles better for throwing them for a distraction, but I just get more satisfaction from taking a brick and pelting it in a infected's face. Ooh, Molotov, get that. Not Molotov, just alcohol and... I don't believe through this walkthrough or playthrough that I was able to craft anything at all. I collected almost everything, if not everything that I found, and I still was unable to craft anything, so for what that's worth. That's Survivor, folks, and it's meant to be hard for a reason, but I just didn't find it to be that challenging, I guess. The hardest part is if you get caught, you're done, but I have no issue with that. This is where I messed up. I wasn't sure what I was walking into. I didn't hear him. I blindly walked into the room, full of infected. I try to escape, but I'm running, so I'm just attracting attention. So I throw a brick to... It doesn't do anything. I did it to... I threw the brick in hopes of distracting the clicker for me to make a safe getaway. But it didn't work. It caught me somehow. And I have to restart. So I'll take my losses when I'm due. I can accept it and progress forward. And I don't always cut out when I die, or I don't cut out when I die, because I feel like you can even learn from them and see the mistake I made so you don't do it yourself as well.
How do we know they're even here?
So here I attempted to go for a headshot and missed poorly. But the sound sets them crazy, so they're shooting at nothing, and then the infected come out. The infected head towards me where the bullet was, but they attract the attention. So now we play them on each other and let them take each other out. But I'm not going to sit by and just watch. I'm going to somehow that didn't kill him. Fair enough. Took 2 down. I'll go and recover my arrow. Which somehow, I wish the drop rate was more certain. Like if I hit him and kill him, I feel like I should recover the arrow. But it's at random. It's not meant to work that well, or work in that way at least. It just doesn't suit me well that way, because I feel like I wasted 2 hours on taking that guy out. I feel like I should have been at least able to recover 1. I'm not sure if that has anything to do with the difficulty setting. But I'm going to sit here and sneak around. I have the bottle out because I know that the hunter's lost. And I have to take out the clickers. So we get the bottle ready. So we are able to do the stun maneuver where we stun the clicker with a bottle or brick, and then we stab him without wasting any ammo. And I can hear them, but I'm not seeing them, so I'm in the clear. Someone smart would just... They would just head for the escape, but me, I was hoping to take them all out, to try and gain some lost ammunition from my poor playing early on, from my couple wasted shots earlier. But they weren't in great line of sight, and I'm not going to spend all my time trying to lure them out. Although I do believe I thought I heard one, so I went back to check. I'm waiting for them to come out. I even dropped down low. He's all the way over there. I think about it. I even drop down, and then I just say, fuck it, let's progress. It's just not worth it. There's part of this game where it's better off to stealth, and I just don't want to risk the chance of failing for somehow and getting a shitty respawn, because that is one negative thing about this game. And the DLC is no different. It still exists. It's its horrible respawn ability. If you die, there's about a 50% chance that your respawn will actually take you back to where you were when you started or entered that room or began the encounter. The other 50% will randomly drop you somewhere totally different on the map. There's a possibility that you never even spent more than a second in that area. And they'll still plop you there. And your whole plan is fucked, because all the enemies from prior to the point where you were respawned still exist. And if you probably took them out when you get to the point. So for instance, I begin the level. There's 3 guys before I reach the stairs. I take those 3 guys out, go up the stairs, and I die. At the top of the stairs, it will respawn me. 50% chance. The other 50%, it'll take me back to the bottom with the 3 guys. The other 50%, I'm respawned at the top of the stairs with the 3 guys down below, so I take the guys out up top, and the guys down below come rushing up and just fuck me up completely. And it's a real pain in the ass, folks, because you're stuck in between both, and this is coming up here shortly. I'm not sure if I actually fall victim to it. I think I'm okay on this playthrough, but it happens all the time in campaign mode. And it happened when I had to replay this chapter. Well, I chose to replay this chapter, and it happened to me then, and it was a fucking nightmare. So, okay, I use the arrows to take these guys out because, well, I at least attempt to.
Ellie, you gotta do something.
Another good thing about the arrow is it kind of makes your aim better than what it really is. And now I just wasted a fucking arrow like an idiot. Missed. That right there is complete bullshit. I clearly gave him a headshot. I shot him right in the head and somehow it fucking went through him. I'm not gonna critique the game too hard on that, but that was just a flaw on its part. Or maybe I'm being stubborn and it really was me, but as far as I could tell, that looked like the arrow went right through him. And there's a 90% chance that I can almost guarantee that it did. Almost guarantee. So I guess I can't guarantee, but that arrow definitely was a headshot. But I'll let it go. I got my arrow back. He's down. I lured him in by using the shot to attract attention. Then we take him out. Recover 2 arrows, which is amazing. Nothing better than that. Get some more supplies, which for some reason I was just never able to craft. Either that or I just didn't attempt to craft. But I do remember occasionally checking through pause menus, and if I do pause, like there's times where I would pause to go to the bathroom or whatever, I just cut that out completely. I'm not going to waste your time, folks, with pause menus. You might see them appear here and there where it'll come up and quickly close, and that's because I cut the pause menu. So you didn't have to sit through that. That's ridiculous. And there are some playthroughs where they'll leave the pause menu in. And I try to just give you absolute content. Or at least commentate when there's nothing to tell you. Or nothing to show you. So, another miss. I must have been off or I just sucked. But another miss. Attracted their attention. Wasted an arrow. Such a horrible mistake. And it's in clear, plain fucking view. No reason for me to miss, but that one was on my part. I'll accept my own failure, but the first one was definitely a headshot. But maybe that's why I got 2 arrows back later, because the game agreed. Alright, now he gets all excited. We take them both out with the headshot. And simple as that, all the guys upstairs are cleared. I only have 1 arrow left, sadly. I was praying to find another one. But maybe because I'm not really religious, folks,
It's now or never.
my prayers weren't answered. Alright. Now this one's just... This is as easy as it gets. He's just standing there. So we take him out. That's a beautiful headshot. But his buddy's a little upset that I did that. So we'll just take him out. And being the pussy that he is, he goes and runs into hiding. And I hate when that happens. I wish that they saw me, just come in and be an AI and take me out. But he goes into hiding because the AI are a little bit smarter. But it's just such a pain in the ass to get them while they're in hiding. Because now I have to do more work. But he's dumb enough that he doesn't see me, so I let him pass and then boom, pop him in the head. And apparently there's more down here than I thought because there's another guy. But the hardest part was taking everyone out upstairs, I believe. I mean, this is all simple. And I believe if I remember... Oh, this guy's a Molotov. I completely forgot. Gotta love those guys from the original campaign. But you take a shot, let him drop it, and burn himself. That's what you get.
That's that.
You shady motherfucker. Trying to throw fire at me. Granted, I pulled the same, but not on humans. I used it on infected. On this playthrough. What a bitch. Be a man like everyone else and just try and kill me normally and fail. Ooh, an arrow. So, okay, now that we completed that, before you go to that shuttered door, scrounge the area, or scour the area, search the area for scrounge and assorted equipment or items that you may find. I found an arrow. There's some handgun ammunition. Because as soon as you go to that shuttered door, we are going to encounter the second part of the enemy encounter. Going to initiate the second part of the enemy encounter. But I broke that up, and that part will be in part 6 of the part 6 and the final part of my Last of Us DLC Left Behind Survivor difficulty walkthrough. So thank you for listening, folks. Thank you for watching, and you take care.